Hello and welcome to Road Trip Guys.
The next time you're crossing the Sierras on I-80,
Over Donner Summit
through Donner Pass,
and alongside Donner Lake,
we invite you to stop at the place where you can learn more about why all these places are called Donner.
located at about 6,000 feet elevation, just a few hundred feet off busy Interstate 80, you'll find Donner Memorial State Park. Today we drive across the Sierra in a few hours and can cross the country in a few days. But if you were an early American pioneer in the 1840s who wanted to reach California, it was no easy task. You basically packed up your wagons and walked across the continent.
Remember, you didn't ride in the wagons.
No, the wagons were for stuff. This is before the Transcontinental Railroad was completed in 1869. Early pioneers could expect to travel about 5 to 10 miles a day. The journey across the country usually took between 4 and 6 months. My feet hurt.
Seriously? We still have 2,000 miles to go.
Ugh. Do you hear that, feet? By the 1830s, early California settlers had started riding back east, telling everyone how wonderful California was. In April of 1846, what would become the infamous Donner Party headed west from Illinois to California. The trouble started in Wyoming when the wagon train reached a fork in the trail. The group chose a new alternate route called Hastings Cutoff instead of the traditional trail. You see, Ohio attorney Lansford W. Hastings had written a book in 1845 called The Emigrant's Guide to Oregon and California.
In it, he recommended taking the shortcut, saying that it would save 300 miles.
Or 30 to 60 days of travel.
Unfortunately, he had never taken
Or even seen the shortcut. And after he did, he promptly posted messages saying, "Do not take this new, shorter route."
that second sign?
Artistic license.
Huh.
Unfortunately, the signs were too late for the Donner Party. And taking Hastings Cutoff took the party through difficult terrain, forced them to abandon vital supplies, and cost them a month of valuable travel time. When they reached Truckee Meadows, near today's Reno, it was late October. Warned the pass would be difficult, they chose to rest for 6 days, a delay that would prove fatal. Winter came early in 1846, and by the time they reached what is now called Donner Lake, snow was already on the ground. Several attempts to cross the pass were unsuccessful. By January, the snow was over 10 feet deep, and things for the Donner Party were very grim indeed. It wasn't until February that the first rescuers reached the desperate group and saw the evidence of cannibalism. George Donner and his wife Tamsen never made it. In fact, only 45 out of 91 members of the party survived. Truckee Lake and the Snowy Pass were renamed Donner after the ill-fated group's elected leader. The Donner Memorial was dedicated on June 6, 1918. 3 Donner Party survivors attended the dedication. In 1924, the Pacific Fruit Express, successor to the Donner Ice Company, gave 10 acres at the east end of Donner Lake to the native sons of the Golden West. In 1928, the land was given to the state of California, making the memorial publicly accessible.
Donner Ice Company?
Yeah, Donner Ice Company. No relation to the Donner family. The Donner Ice Company was named after Donner Lake, and by the late 19th century was harvesting ice for home consumption. Before modern refrigeration, that's how people kept food cold at home, in an icebox. which is basically a large box with a block of ice in it, like a cooler. Ice would be harvested in the winter, stored in ice houses, and delivered to people's homes a couple times a week. The ice from Donner Lake also helped promote California agriculture by keeping food cool as it was shipped from California across the country on the Transcontinental Railroad. In addition to the Pioneer Monument, be sure to check out the Donner Memorial State Park Visitor Center, with compelling new exhibits depicting the history of the area and the people who came into this part of the Sierra, including local Native Americans, the Washoe. You can learn more about the immigrant experience, the Donner Party, the builders of the Transcontinental Railroad, including Chinese laborers, and early auto motoring adventures over Donner Pass. With postcards, posters, maps, books, and more, be sure to check out the Visitor Center's gift shop. The park also has a campground, picnic areas, a lakefront beach, fishing, and over 8 miles of hiking trails. Leashed dogs are allowed on the trails. Thank you for watching.
The next time you're in the area, be sure to check out Donner Memorial State Park.
And if you haven't yet, please subscribe.
And feel free to share.
Newton, go find subscribers. Good boy.